Hi everyone, welcome to the part 2 of this video series on automating multilingual support using UiPath. In the last video, we learned on how to use OpenAI and JIRA connector to respond to customer in any language and created a JIRA ticket using UiPath Studio Web. And today's video is the extension of that video where we will learn how we can respond to user in the same language when the JIRA ticket gets updated. Since this is part 2 of this video series, and if you haven't watched the part 1 yet, I recommend you to use the link on the top and watch the part 1 of this video series.
To do this, I'll go to UiPath Studio Web and we'll create a new project here. I'll give it a name and we'll append part 2 to it. And I want the automation to be started as event based. I'll select that. We'll click create. And now I'll search for Jira trigger. I've selected that. It will take some time to load. The trigger has now been loaded. So I'm just validating my connection here. It is valid. And in the event type, we have got two types of event, record created and updated. So I'll select record updated for this demo. And for the record parameter, at the moment, only issue is supporting. So I'll select that. Next parameter is your data filter. So if you apply any kind of filters here, you can put here in data filters. And your output would be your Jira ID that will be saved in a output variable. I'm just saving this into a new variable named Jira ID. So let me just give it a name now. Jira ID, and I hit create here. So the new variable has now been created. Now next thing, I'm going to add one more activity to print the Jira ID. Let me add log message here and select your Jira ID. And in the log level, I'll put info. So this will print the message Jira ID. And next, I'm going to add all the comments for particular Jira ID. So I'm just adding this activity called get comments. And in the issue type, this will accept the Jira ID. So let me just search. Okay, it is not there. So I basically add the variable here. So I pass Jira ID as the input parameter. And I don't have the total number of records. So I'll just put 100 here. So it is a random number. So I'm hoping that numbers are less than 100. And this will return a list to me. The total number of comments, a list of comments. And next, I am going to add one more activity to fetch the data from the database named query entity records. You remember in the last demo, we created a data table where we stored all the records. So let's wait for the activity to get loaded. So let me just go to that page and search for the table name. This is my table name. Let me just search for that. MB, yep, this is my table name. Now it will ask for the condition. So let me just click on that and we'll add a condition here. So the column name should be your Jira ID. It should be equals to the Jira ID variable here. Let me just select that. Jira ID, I'll click save, save. And again, this will return me the total number of records and the output records in a list. Next, I'll be creating a new variable here. I'll use the set variable value and we'll save the email language here. Let me just create a variable here. Email language. I'll hit create. And here I'll be passing the output of my data query. So it should be data query, output records. So I'll be selecting the first record here. So I pass 0 here. And the column name is email language. So it should appear now. I'll select that. So this will basically get the data from the database. And we'll save this into an email language. Now added a comment here as well. So this is for setting the value. There's some issue in that. Let me just see. Okay. So let me just go to this panel and just change the data type from object to string. There we go. Yeah, all looks okay. Let me just add now one more activity here to get the latest comment from the comment list. Let me just write a comment here first. Get latest comment from JIRA comment. I'll open expression builder here. We'll basically go to get comments, response, and I'll select the last response. So ideally it should be again your response dot length -1. So it will pick the last record dot body. So this will return me the last comment that got added to JIRA, and I'll save that to a new variable named latest comment, latest JIRA comment. I'll click create here. This all looks okay. Now the next activity that I'm going to add is generate text completion from OpenAI. And here I'll be passing the latest comment along with the language, and I'll get the output. So let me just go ahead and see that. My connection is valid. Let me now write a prompt here. Go ahead, open expression editor. So I'll write, could you please convert that following text into, plus the language was email language, plus double quotes language, plus the latest comment. This is my latest comment. I select that. We'll hit save, and the output will be saved into the top generated text. Next, I'll be using the log message activity again, just to print the latest comment in the new language. So let me just give it a context here. The text should be the output of the generate text completion. I select that, and log level will be again info. Yep. And now I use this send email activity to send the email to the user. It has now been loaded. I'll select the user here. Again, I'll go to output records. It should be email. Yep, email. Yeah. I'll click save here. Body should be your generated text from the OpenAI. Click save. And now I'll be selecting the subject. And subject should be response received on, plus it should be your JIRA key, and that is in the output records. So this should be output record 0 JIRA key. There we go. I'll click save here now. Looks okay. Same as the false. Yep, all good. There seems to be some error with this two activity. Okay, let me just check that. It is I enablable. So I'll just use the split, comma separated. and we'll hit save here. Yep, all good. Yeah, let me just see. Yeah, log message, everything is okay. So now let me just add a new comment here. So the comment is we have received your request and we are working on that. We'll get back to you soon. Let me just write it. I'll hit save here. Now again, I go to this UiPath Studio Web again and run the process step by step. Suppose the event trigger will trigger. So let me just see if, okay, the project has now been compiled. Next step, now event trigger turns green. That means it has now detected that. Logs, we can see this JIRA ID here. The JIRA ID is 1006. Yeah, we can see that there in the logs. Next is to fetch the query, then set the variable email language, then the comment, then it will go to ChatGPT to convert that into that same language. Now it will print the message here. This is the message that we got. Now the next thing is it will send an email to the user. Now I'll go to my Gmail. Now I have received an email and this is the content. Let me just convert that. Yeah, this is the one that we added to the JIRA. Yep, there. All looks okay now. Email, JIRA ticket, everything seems to be okay. So this is the demo. Thank you.